This is Irontrader. This is the last call of the day here. So we'll take a look here at Bitcoin, at crude oil, natural gas, a little gold, a little silver, and then we'll take a look here at the old indexes, the Dow, the S&P, and the old NASDAQ. Now the Dow is ripping up here, about 727. S&P is up about 116, and the NASDAQ is up 444, all over because the old T-man, he's extending those tariffs till the July 9th area. Okay, at the end of this video, the support and resistance levels are posted for crude and natural gas. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy selling stock on ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have Bitcoin all stretched out here nicely. Now you can see here on the old daily chart what we have here. Okay, look at this 8-day. Look how nice this is, all the way on up. Okay, this is why you trade the charts. Now, we had this inverse head and shoulders pattern right here, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, with a nice double bottom situation, higher low, bam, look how nice that's taken off. Now, we're getting a little sideways consolidation, just like we had here, here, and now look at here, another consolidation, very, very nice. But you notice when it sold down, it did hold this key 8 simple moving average. Now, if you look at Bitcoin, it's pretty much trading with the overall markets, I think more like the NASDAQ. When the NASDAQ is up, it seems like Bitcoin is up their situation. Okay, now they had this big conference there. I think it was Vegas over the weekend. I don't know if it's still going or if it's the whole week or whatever. I got just a couple clips of it, and they're all talking about Bitcoin and all this kind of stuff. So I think Bitcoin's going to go much, much higher. Okay, so let's just look at the downside here first. So what we're watching is we want to watch the top of this candle right here. Okay, so this is going to be support 106. 110, 175 level. Okay, that's going to be key. And then we'll come here to the bottom of the candle. You're looking at 108, 605. And then we're going to be looking right here at this 8-day. This is going to be very, very crucial on a closing basis. Okay, that's at 107, 458 level. Now you can see how nice it's been holding the whole way. So we lose that, well, then our big target is going to be this 21-day, but there is support here underneath. Okay, so what you all do is that 106, 340 level. We come to the bottom here. You're looking at 104, 435. And then we can come right here down to that 21-day at 102, 198. Now, you got to really respect the 21-day because if that 8-day is lost, it goes to the next target and it bounces right off here very, very nicely. Just the opposite is, see how when the 8-day is below the 21-day and then your resistance, where does it go? If it cracks that 8-day, where does it go? Right into the 21-day. See this? See this? Okay. So that's what we have, same thing again on the support area. So always put that 21-day on your chart. It works very, very good. Now, here on the upside, we had this high today. We had 110, 980. Not bad, okay? So what we're looking here at Friday's high, looking at 112.06, 112.60, I should say. And then we have this 112.345 level. Now, we cracked this here. Obviously, you're going to go to that 1,300, 113 level. But realistically, the target on this is 115 to 116 area. That's where the target is. Okay. Now, what we have to watch here is this RSI here. See how where the green starts turning blue? Well, that tells me that that's starting to do an overbought condition. Okay, so you got to always really watch that. So now we popped all the way up here and then we came down. So what I'm looking for is I'm watching this RSI here. So if we crack this level and this RSI stays lower than what we had right here, then that would be that negative divergence, and that's what you definitely don't want to see. Okay, that'd be the same thing as what we have here. Okay, so where we have this high, okay, then we made this higher high, but we made a lower high here. We have that negative divergence, and then boom, we sell right on off here. Okay, so always really pay attention to that RSI. It seems to work very, very nicely. So basically what we're trading here is this 8-day. That's going to be very crucial on a closing basis. So far, we're holding this nice. I think we get a little consolidation action here. So we're trading that 8-day on the bottom, that 107, 457, and that 112, 30, 345 there on the top. Now, easy way I trade this here is IBIT. Now, there's a nice leverage fund that I've been also trading here. Just getting into it a little bit here is this BITX. Okay, so that there is a leverage 2x fund. So if we close above this 112, 345, then what I do is I always have my IBIT on. I'm long, but then I'll do is I'll jump into that BITX because it's a big mover, okay? So give an example, okay? IBIT is up 1.16%, where the BITX is up 2.32%. Okay, very, very nicely here. So if you want to trade a little bit more juice, you can go to that 2x leverage fund here. Just don't hold that leverage fund. You can hold the IBIT, but that leverage fund is a little something there because remember, leverage funds, they rebalance at the end of the day and they're really meant to go down to zero. Okay, so always remember that. That's why you always see these leverage funds, doing reverse splits kind of a situation. So always keep that in mind. It's a trading vehicle. Okay, so here we have the old MACD. Now you can see the green is still over red, looking very, very good. We are here like an overbought condition, but that also shows that we have relative strength. We have a very, very strong commodity here. Okay, very, very strong. So keep that in mind. But what I always use this for a lot of times is using for divergences. Okay, or oversold conditions, overbought conditions kind of situation. Now, again, watch this 8-day, very, very key. As long as we hold this, it's going to be sideways to up kind of an action. We got to see if we can break out. We crack above this, 113 is your target. And why I think 115, 116 overall is going to be your target. I would aim really realistically for that 115 area. Okay, take a look here now at crude oil and natty gas. Okay, here we have crude oil. Now, again, OPEC came out here today, and they have a meeting here, so you want to pay attention to that on May 31st, okay? Now they want to keep, continue, this will be the third month, to keep adding 411,000 barrels a day, okay, onto the market. What they're trying to do is recoup what those extra, they put like 2.2 million barrels on the market. They took off the market and they're holding, you know what I'm saying? It was like a volunteer cut. Now those barrels are going on a day back on the market here at 411,000. So you got to figure we've already had 2 months of that. So we're going to maybe go to another month of this. So we got to see, we've had May and June. So if they want to dump in another 411 million barrels a day on here, it's not going to take the price up. Okay. So just always understand that. So what we have is just sideways action. It was working like a circus monkey, but for me, I have no confidence. So in the big long position, so I jumped in the SCO, which is a short. Really, really good trade on the old short there today on the old crude. Now, what we're watching on the downside is we're watching the 69 level. Okay, that's your 21-day. Now, if that's lost, we're going to come right to the bottom of this candle. This is your next support at 60.02, and then we're going to be coming to the bottom of this candle here at 59.89 level. Okay, so right now what we do is we just have this really good support going on right here. Okay, and then we have nice big resistance sitting right here at that 64.19. So basically, you're just trading this box. Okay, this is what we're trading now. We start losing this. Okay, we lose that 59.89. Then we look right to the left of the chart here. Your next level is going to be 58.76. That's going to be your next support. Then we'll come right to the bottom here. You got 57.74, 57.03. We have 56.39 level, and then we have your retest there at 55.30. Now, again, we got seasonality in play, but gas prices here on Memorial Day were great. It was $2.69 a gallon there at the SAM. So, no issues. That was really, really good, So T-Man, remember, he does not want that $70, $80, $100 oil bullshit. He wants that, 40, 50, 60 area. I think more like a 40 area. But again, if this seasonality wasn't in play here, I think we'd be cracking this, and I think we'd be down in that 50, 47 area very, very easily, okay? So now, on the upside here, what we do is we watch in here at that 61 level. That's your 8-day, very, very crucial. So we got to see which one's going to win out. It's going to be the 21-day or it's going to be that 8-day. Right now, we're just sitting on like birds on a perch over here, okay? Just a sideways kind of an action. So what we're watching here, I say, is that 8-day, 61.61, and then we can come up to the top of this candle at that 62.14. That'll be next resistance level. Here we have 62.70, 62.91, but really what we're looking for is that 63.38. We get above that, we're going to go right to the top of there at 64.19, which is the top of this candle, and then we can maybe even rally as high as that 64.87. But right now, we just have sideways kind of an action here, okay? I didn't take no long, but I took that short today. Very, very good trade. Okay, RSI here, 46. That could go either way. Green is still over your red here, so it is showing just pretty much like a sideways momentum. So we got to see how it all shakes out. Remember, now there's no API report today. It'll be out tomorrow, Wednesday, after the close. And then the EIA report will be out on Thursday at 11 for crude and 10:30 for natty gas. Now, natural gas here, okay? So I was pointing out this possible bull flag, okay? We have the pole, and then we had this flag, okay? Now, we never broke that 200-day. You're never we'd have to close below this level, that 310 level, to negate the pattern. Now, obviously it didn't, and now look what's happening, okay? So when you get these bull flags, they come all the way down, and then the following candle there, look how nice it rallied, held that 200-day, and rallying right on up here now, okay? So upside here, what you're looking for is right here is at 3.45. Then we come up here to the top of this candle, look at 3.51, and then we have this 50-day at 357, and then your next level is going to be that 370, and then we have their retest there at 384 level, okay? So very, very nice here. I scalped the UNG today. Very, very good trade on the UNG here. So what I was doing to be very, very patient, that this candle was going to hold that 200-day. If it lost it and came down to the bottom, well, that would negate that bull flag situation. And, we'd be selling off. But obviously, it didn't do that. It held it, and then it broke through that 8-day, and then it rallied right on up here. So right now, that's what we're watching on the upside, is this key 21-day to see if we can crack that. We can go to the next level, is that 50 SMA. Now, downside, it really has to hold this 3.32. That's very, very critical. If not, we're going to come right down to the 200-day at 321. Okay, that's lost. You come down here, 309. Right here, you have a gap, 305. The fail, 298. And then we have 285 is the bottom of that candle. Okay, so right now here, we're looking very, very bullish because we've held that 200-day and the bull flag seems to be going out pretty nicely. But the key is we have to close back above here, that 345 level. Once we do, then that thing can rip up very, very nicely. Now, 49, plenty of room to run. Your green is the bull, your red, but that can turn up here because we just had this sideways kind of an action. So this is actually looking very good. We got to see if this 21 days is going to shut her down or the 50 days is going to shut her down. That's what we're looking for. Okay, take a look here at gold and silver. Okay, here we have gold, here we have silver. Now we can see what we got here. Okay, so nothing has really, really changed, okay, from the last time I did this morning, okay? We have this high, and lower high, okay? So we have a downtrending chart, okay? That's what we got going on here, okay? So if you look at this price channel, 34.48, there's your top, 31.23. We're sitting there pretty much right here, pretty much in the center kind of a situation, all right? So, but you notice that here, we're all just hanging out at that 21-day, okay? So that's going to be very key. So this is the key support, is that 32.95. You have to hold that on a closing basis. That way we can go sideways to up. Your next level would be this 8-day at 32.80. Okay, if that's lost, you can come right down here to the 50-day, 32.18, and then we have your big target down here at your retest at 31.23. Very, very simple. Okay, now upside, well, we just follow the candles. Okay, what do we got? 33.27. What do we have here? Okay, 33.46, and then we come up here. We have 33.66. All right, then we come up to the top of this candle. You're looking at 33.84, 33.96 level. We'll come up top of this candle at 34.22, and then the retest is 34.48. Okay, so always look to the left of the chart because that is your resistance levels, and those are your upside targets. But right now, we just have this kind of like a sideways action situation. So let's just see how this all shakes out. As long as you hold that 21-day and that 8-day, okay, this is sideways to up. Now, I use gold as more of like a fear factor, okay? If you got craziness in the market, gold will rise, okay? Just like we had, the tariffs, they're putting the tariffs on. We have tariff day or whatever. Well, gold was running right on up here. But right now here, if he gets all this settled here, I think gold can come off pretty hard. Now, we lose all this here. Just respect this 50 because how much it held in the past, okay? That's what you always want to watch. Now, we're sitting here at 52. That's just you got plenty of room to run up or down. The green, this is a sideways action here. So there really isn't a whole lot kind of a situation here. So what I'm looking for is a close above this level right here, that 33.66. If it does, then I'd jump into GLD and I'd go right to that 34.48. That'd be your target, okay? Now, silver, a whole lot of nothing burger going on here. Look at this, okay? Just sideways action. Okay, so bottom line here, we have to crack above that 33.91 on a closing basis. If we do, then we just look right to the left of the chart. You look in 34.68, come up here, we got 34.86, and then we come up here, we have 35 flat. Then we'll come up to the top of there, 35.40, and then 35.49 is your breakout. You crack that, you're going crawling. I shouldn't say going, you're going to be crawling to 40 the way silver is moving, okay? Now, we crack that 35.09 on gold, and I think you can hit that 35.50 area real quick, okay? Much, much better trade in the gold than what we have in the silver. Now, on the downside here, we're basically looking at all right here. We're looking at this 33 level, okay? You got your 8, 21-day. Everything is sitting right here. If that's lost, we have to respect this 100-day by how many times it hit it and how many times it held it, okay? Look at all this, okay? Just because it spikes down, where did it close? Spike down, where did it close? Same here, same here, same here, okay? So respect that 100-day. If that's lost, then we come right down 31.74. There's your 200-day. 54, that could go either way. Green is still over your red, but you just got sideways chop. Okay, let's take a look here now at the indexes. Okay, here we have Dow, here we have S&P, and here we have NASDAQ. Now, what you have to understand in this market here, what we have is volatility. Okay, now volatility is your friend. Okay, so always remember that. Now, VIX is down today. He's down to 1911. And basically what's going on here is Trump put the 50% tariffs on the EU. And then over the weekend, he took it, he put it on hold till I think it's July 7th. Okay, so that gives the market a reprieve. That's coming off. Market is rallying up here. Now, always remember, we have to watch, see what's going to happen tomorrow. Okay, big day tomorrow. Nvidia's earnings. Okay, very, very tough. Everybody's watching that, and I think that's going to be a decider on which way this market is going to go. Now, here's what we have. Okay, let's take a look at the Dow. Now, we came all the way down. Okay, came all the way down and then over down to the 21 day. But you notice, look at this 21 day, it closed above. That's why I trade the charts. Okay, we look at this candle right here. Where did it go? Right into the 200 day. Okay, and that stopped it dead. Now, if we can get above that, we have a gap. Okay, so you want to look at here, 42,439. We want to look to the bottom of this candle here. Okay, 42,485. Gap, fill, retest at 42,842. Okay, very, very easy trade. If this comes on down here, watch the top of this candle. That's going to be support. Okay, 42.90. Watch today's low. Okay, 41.849, and then watch that 21 day. 41.617, and then what we do is we watch the bottom of this candle, 41.345, and then 41.055 is your 50 day. Very, very simple. Okay, so if we can rally and break above this, then we're going to be rallying strong. Okay, very, very nice. See, we crack above this level, then all we do, see where we have the resistance? Okay, see where we have the resistance? Very nice. We just go right to the next level. Okay, right there, 43.135. Then we come up here, next level. Come up here, next level. All the way on top until we retest 45 grand. Okay, very, very easy. Okay, now we look at the S&P. Okay, same pretty much chart. Okay, except now we're above all of this. Okay, so this is all support. Now we're rallying up here very, very nicely. Okay, so you're sitting at that 59.24. So what you want to do is watch the top of this candle right here, 59.38. That's going to be your next resistance level. Then we'll come up top of this candle. This is going to be resistance, 59.53. Then we have your big retest up here at 59.68. Okay, very, very nice. Now, downside, we got to watch this 8-day. We have to close above 58.98. That's going to be support. Then we look at today's low, 58.54. There's your gap. And then we'll look to Friday's high, 58.29. There's your fill. And then we run into all this. We have your 200-day, your 100-day, your 21-day, all sitting here around that 57.60 mark, 57.60 mark. Okay, very, very easy. Now, I just want to show you here. Now, this never really got overbought here on the Dow. Okay, to a condition. Now she's trying to curl right back up. But this here is trying to roll over. This is very, very toppy. This is very, very toppy. And see how we had this overbought condition, very toppy, and then it came down. Okay, so now we got to see how this all shakes out. But there's a lot of room here to run. If we can crack above this, you can run all the way up to that 61.47. But let's just see what happens when it retests, if it retests that 59.68. Now, NASDAQ, strongest of them all. Strong like bull. Look at this. Okay, so we never filled this gap right here. Okay, and look at here, 18,397. Right here is, look at all my support. 100-day, 200-day, 21-day. Very, very nice. Now, we gapped up, so you always want to watch that gap. 18,961 gap. Look to the top of this candle, 18,841 fill. Okay, excuse me. But what we're looking at here on the top is right here. Okay, this is what we're watching, is at 19,241. That's your breakout. Okay, see the sideways action? Sideways action, consolidation. Okay, it's just like we had here, consolidation. All right, so now we have to see if we can crack above that, then we can go much higher. Okay, again, I think NVIDIA is going to be the trade. Okay, and same way with CRM. Okay, Salesforce. If those two, especially NVIDIA, can run, we can crack this area and we can start marching right on up here. Very, very easy. Maybe even to that retest at 20,204. Now, if it sells off here, then we got to watch that 8-day. That's going to be very, very crucial. 8-day, very, very crucial right here. Okay, and 8-day, very, very crucial on the Dow. Okay, they're all very, very crucial level. We lose that, we want to go gap fill, and then we want to come right down to this level here, and hopefully that fills it. If it doesn't, then we have this the gap fill on the top of the candle at 1868 level. That'll be your next target. Okay, so this here is, we got to see what sideways. NVIDIA, I think, is going to make the decision whether we crack through this or we hit this and we slam right back down. Okay, that's what I got for you. A lot of stuff on the old docket this week here. So always have to be very, very pay attentive. Okay? All right. I'll be back here tomorrow morning and we'll do it all over again. And remember, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.